What's good, math family? In this video, we're going to learn how to write quadratic equations in standard form and vertex form when we're only given points that fall on the parabola. In the first example, they give us 3 points and they want us to write the equation in standard form. So standard form for quadratic equations is going to take the format y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. And what we're trying to look for or identify are the values for c, b, and a. And the best way to start this off is by starting off with the y-intercept because it's very easy to identify what c is. So when we're looking for the y-intercept, that means that the x is going to be 0 and y is going to have a value. So in this problem, when we see 0, 0, we should know that this means the parabola is going to pass through the origin. But if we were solving, we're just going to plug this in. 0 for x, 0 for y. So I know 0 is equal to a times 0 squared plus b times 0 plus c. And what we notice from this is that 0 is going to be equal to, this is 0, that's 0, and we know this is what is equal to c. So we already figured out what c is equal to. It's equal to 0. Now we're going to go over to the second point, and we're going to see if we could start putting together a and b. So in this second example, it tells me y is negative 2, so I substitute. Negative 2 is equal to a times negative 1 squared plus b times negative 1 plus c, we know c is 0. So now when I simplify this, we're going to have negative 2 is equal to a minus b. 1 squared is just 1. 1 times a is a. B times negative 1 gives us that negative b. So this is the first equation that we need to know or need to have. Now, we're going to repeat this process with the point 1, 6. So again, we substitute. So we know y is equal to 6. And now we're going to substitute 1 into the equation for x. So a times 1 squared plus b times 1. And we know that c is 0. So we go through and we simplify again. So we know a is equal to 6 is equal to a plus b. So at this step, we've created two separate equations. And these two equations are important because we're going to use systems of equations to now determine what is a and what is b. So at this step now, we're focusing on these two equations. So let's go in. So we have negative 2 is equal to a minus b. And then the second equation, we have 6 is equal to a plus b. So we're going to use process of elimination. So we know b's cancel out. When we combine negative 2 and 6, we get 4. And we know 4 is equal to a plus a, which is 2a. Now I simplify so I could determine what a is. We divide by 2. So we know 2 is equal to a. So far we know 2 is equal to a. We know c is equal to 0. Now for us to figure out b, we just have to substitute this back into equation 1 or equation 2. I'm going to pick equation number 2. So I know 6 is equal to a plus b. We know a is 2. Write the rest of the equation. So now when we focus on this equation, we're trying to solve for b. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So now I get 4 is equal to b. So now at this step, we know what a is, we know what b is, and we know what c is. So now the last part of this problem is just putting it all together. So let's get a little bit of space right here. So at this step, all we're going to do now is rewrite it in standard form and substitute our a and b. C we don't need to substitute because it's 0. So the equation for this parabola that goes through these 3 points should be y is equal to, right, a, which is 2 times x squared, plus b times x, we know b is 4, so 4x, and this would be our equation for the first quadratic or the parabola. In our next example, we're now going to write the quadratic equation in vertex form. So vertex form takes the format y is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. And with this method, we only need 2 points, one being the vertex and one is being a point that falls on the parabola. Why? Because HK represents the vertex. So when we're solving this and trying to come up with the equation, we're gonna use substitution in 2 different steps. So the first step, we're just gonna substitute the vertex in. So we have a times x minus 3 squared plus 7. That's the first substitution. Now the second substitution is going to come from the point 9,4. And we're going to substitute that with the y and the x. So now I'm saying 4 is equal to a times 9 minus 3 squared plus 7. And all we're trying to do right now, this step, is to solve for a. What is a? So let's simplify. So when we go ahead with this, we have 4 is equal to, right? 9 minus 3 is 6. 6 squared is 36. Is equal to 36a plus 7. Now in this step, we're going to subtract 7 on both sides to combine like terms. So I have negative 3 is equal to 36a. Now at the end of this, we're going to get a by itself by dividing by 36. And I know that a is equal to negative 3 over 36, but if we reduce this fraction and divide top and bottom by 3, we should get negative 1 over 12 is equal to a. Now that we have all this information, we could go back and write the equation for the parabola. So our equation would be y is equal to our a negative 1 over 12 times x minus 3 squared plus 7. So this would be the equation. Really hope this video was helpful for you, family. If it was, smash the like button for us, subscribe to the channel, or leave comments down below if you found this video helpful, or if you'd like to see other topics on our channel. Thank you guys so much for joining Algebra 1 with Mr. Peters.